You know, I got thinking. Working on things. Working with characters. Working with everything else. What is it to know something? What is it knowing? I don't know. Know. What do you mean by know? I mean Kano, motherfucker. I don't really need to focus on clean it up. The rainfall. You know, like the rain should. So it really started. Hey guys, welcome back. So as I'm thinking about it, I wonder to myself about knowing. Knowing. What exactly does that mean? How is it that we are always striving to understand? So it's like, first of all, what the fuck is knowing? To know is to perceive directly, grasp in the mind with clarity or certainty, to regard as truth beyond doubt, a practical understanding of as thought experience, be skilled in. Is that even fucking possible? Can you truly know something? Or is it abstract and then we just kind of like, no, like, I do know this. Are those just constructs built up over time that we've decided is no? I don't know, man. The more I get into it, the more I start thinking about it, the more it confuses the fuck out of me. When a hero goes on an adventure, when a hero goes out into the grand world and he has his thing he needs to do, right? He's got to save something. Save the princess, save the people, save the kingdom, save this person, whatever the fuck it is. Sometimes even saving himself. They have to, when you think of it like the hero's journey, as described by Joseph Campbell, there's this circle. And this circle is divided in half of known and unknown. Known is where you begin, the top half of the circle. And you tread from stepping out to the door all the way to the halfway point where you get the threshold guardian. I always heard it, we're not in Kansas anymore moment. Like, oh shit, things aren't what I thought they were. From that point, you go into the unknown. Now you're out in the world. A good example, right off the bat, is Luke Skywalker going into the cantina. Passing into the unknown. Know seems to be an idea of everything is at this calm pace. Everything is exactly what you expect it to be. You keep going to work every day, though there are things at work that sometimes can catch you off guard. Though there are things at work that, are stressful and they're not the same every single day. It's in the general idea of known. That seems to be how work is. It can have its ups and downs, but at the same time, it's like, there's not a whole lot that can happen at your job. You're like, wow! Beyond belief, unless something crazy like a gunman comes in and shoots the place up, or fucking someone has a heart attack, like things like that. That's pretty unknown. But as a hero archetype, which we all have our own heroes, we have a section of ideas and it's like a portion of our life, this mundane life, this day-to-day life, that is all in the known. Everything is clear. Everything is certain. Everything is, with beyond a doubt, the truth. I will go here tomorrow. I will do that. This is my wife. This is my husband. This is my fucking family, or whatever. There are things that are fucking true. Supposedly. But what about if you're writing? What about if you're the author? What about what you know? I can only speak for experience to myself, so this is not some fucking thing that I can go off on other people's shit. But I can say, my know, what I knew that was going to happen to my character in this instance. We're going to go to book 1. It's easy right now. When I had my character sitting there and I said, you, my son, are going to go on this fucking adventure. You're going to do this stuff and you're going to have a hero's journey. Most of the writing of that book, I couldn't tell you what he was doing it for and why he was doing it for. I made him go on a journey. I made him pass into the unknown. But I did along with him because I knew, right? I knew that he had to. I knew that I couldn't write a book and nothing's happening. I knew that he had to go from one thing and become something totally different. He had to be a hero. But when I sat down and I would work on it, I'd think, I don't even know hero of what? Hero to whom? What does he have to do? Who does he save? I thought generic for a while. I'm like, well, the world. That's who he fucking saves, right? That's an easy one. But then I got thinking, I don't even know what the fucking world is. So you explore that. You work on it. And then you create factions. And you create people. And other groups. And a bunch of things going on at the same time. And then the known becomes a little bit more clear. Though there's a shit ton more of unknowns. Now what? Now what do I know? Well, does he still have to save all these people? Half of them probably don't want him to now. Well, I don't know. A lot of the struggle that I would have in my life, a lot of the struggle that I would have as a subsequent thing is in my writing is knowing. What is it to know? What does that even fucking mean to say that I know something? And I'm not trying to be funny or cute or anything about it. I really do struggle with know. I want to know. What is it to know? I know this. I knew that. It was really difficult for me to sit down and say, I know what's going to happen. Because, as I stated before, the book was moving in real time as I was. As I was writing it, I was unraveling it. You know what I mean? Like ahead. I'm sitting here writing, but like about this far away, I'm actually laying the tracks. You know what I mean? The train's right here and I'm on it, but I'm also like, come on guys, like 30 feet in front of the train as the tracks being laid. That's how I wrote most of book one, because it's like I didn't know what to do. I didn't understand how to make this all work. You know, I would sit down, I would study storytelling, I would study good stories, I would really hone in on that, I would study what it takes to world build, I would study character development, and I would do these things. But then I took all this like knowledge in my head, and then I walked into this room and said, okay, you're in front of the typewriter, let's go. What do you know? And I didn't know what to do. I was like, well, I have no idea. Because what's the first thing they always say to do as a writer? Write what you know. Well, I know how to not know, so I can write that. I can write confusion. I can write being lost, being afraid, because that's what I felt most of my life. I don't think I've ever felt knowingness. In its multifacetedness, probably, but if you were to sit me down and say, do you know what your life is? I'd be like, I don't think so. You know, I don't think I could do that. Should have a no counter in the top corner, but I'm not about to watch this and count every no. You can do it, motherfucker. It was difficult for me to ever in my life say, I understand the situation. I understand what's happening to me. I understand the knowledge that has been brought to me. I understand, you know, that was so difficult. So then I sit down and start writing a book, and how the fuck am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to write about? It's not like it's that easy. I mean, I didn't think it was. It took me so fucking long to figure all that out. And to figure out who I even fucking am before I even wrote what I'm supposed to write. Because you don't really know what you're supposed to learn, what you're supposed to discover. You're at the whim of everything, it feels like. You can go down these paths and stuff, like I'm going to study this stuff, I'm going to study that. But at the end of the day, you can do that all you want, but when it comes time to doing what you're supposed to do with your life, you don't even know how to fucking begin to even think about that. How many people truly think about what they're destined to be, supposed to be? Most people just have accepted, like, well, this is my job. I am this. And I think I was destined to do it because I'm really good at it. Like, nah, I don't think so. What do you think you are supposed to be? I'm sure there's a lot of people that know that, and I'm sure there's a lot more people that don't know. Myself, not in 1,000 years did I ever think I would be a writer. Never. I never would have thought that. I was like, are you kidding me? I fucking hate reading. Why would I want to write? I don't like stories. It was never something I grew up with. I wanted, I craved. You know what I mean? I craved to be a fucking, like, an audience member. Entertain me. That's all I ever was. I never challenged my mind to, like, look into stories and what they truly meant. I didn't even know that's what stories were about until my adulthood. Oh, stories are told to teach you things. I didn't know that. So I'm kind of was always like just everywhere. And I talked about the beginnings of this book I'm working on, how I would sit down and try to be I would try to explore what the fuck I wanted to do and wanted to write and how it all worked and all the factions and all the characters and the plots and all the fun things going on in the whole book. I would sit and work on this and hone it and just try to rethink, like just try to imagine this world, what it was like. And it's amazing how far it grew because, you know, there's a lot of things that really opened up, and it just kind of became its own thing beyond whatever I could imagine. It almost feels like the world is living its own life now, and I'm just here to watch it happen. I've built enough to the point where it's building itself, if that makes any sense. Like, it's kind of taking control of itself. It doesn't need me to sit down most of the time and think too hard. I just start writing and it'll happen as it's meant to happen. But when I look into knowingness and I look like, well, what are my my heroes? What are they supposed to know? What are they supposed to do? How does that mirror your own life? Like, I can't say, like, when you look at Dune and Frank Herbert, I think that's his name, or you look at Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, I can't necessarily say, like, well, when he wrote this section, this is because of this portion of his life. When he wrote that section, this is how he felt about that. Like, I don't know why they wrote it. You know what I mean? I don't put myself in that same tier because I don't think I'm writing for the same reasons that those guys are. It's my story is incredibly personal, incredibly fucking personal. Maybe theirs was too. I don't know. I'm not. They're dead, so I can't fucking ask them. Hey man, like, how personal is this? Like, literally you, you know? Or like when J.D. Salinger was talking about him being the only person that could have been the guy in Catcher in the Rye, which I never read, but that was another time I heard it. Like, you are your own hero, so your story for yourself, how do you figure out what no is and how to pass into it? Not only that, but what do you do with all that once you start unraveling your hero's journey? Once you start unraveling who he is and what he's supposed to do and why he's supposed to do it and who he's saving and how he goes about saving them and what is this, like, entire story arc and what are the obstacles, and when you start knowing all those things, what do you do with that? What the fuck do you do with all that? knowing everything, knowing what's at stake, knowing what's to come. What do you do with that? So from your story to your real life, you gather everything you need to gather because, hey, I want to do this. I am this. And I'm going to try to get to that point. You know, like an athlete, a musician, a writer, an actor, a cook, like a person in a kitchen, or any other fucking job, a teacher, some shit. Okay. You want to do that. You're studying how to do it. You're honing your skills. You're getting better. You're learning what you should learn. You're on the path. You're picking up skills that help you. You're using your time to gain experience so that you can use that experience to become a better whatever it is you're trying to do. And you're on the path. But what do you do with that? Is there even an end to it? It's like you want to be a thing. You want to be a writer, a cook, a fucking teacher, fucking God knows, whatever else. What do? You just keep doing it, right? Until what? What's the limit? What's your limit? Are you looking for a certain point? Are you trying to find the edge of this? Do you just want to be it so bad and then you stop learning at a certain point because you feel like you learned as much as you need to learn in this subject and this thing, and you harden yourself to new knowledge and you think, well, no, I like the old ways and this is like... Or are you someone that embraces too much the future where you become lost in the clouds? Are you too rigid or are you too free about it? What do you do with the knowing? Because every day you attempt to do the thing you want to do, you pass more and more into the known. But at the very same time, you're treading more and more into the unknown. It's almost like the tracks are the known, but where you're laying it is the unknown. Do you know what I mean? Like the tracks, I know these tracks my train will stay upon. As long as I keep it level and not too curvy, the train will stay in the tracks. That is the know. The unknown is, but I don't know what the fuck's ahead of me, and I don't know what obstacles I have to make the tracks work properly. We're going, all of a sudden a massive drop. Oh, well, fuck, I gotta build a weird, crazy bridge to get over this. Or like you have to chop a bunch of trees down, or there's a fucking mountain in the way, you know what I mean? Like that's the unknown, and that's what it is to do anything. I mean, we're just focusing on like people that want to shoot for their dreams and want to have those jobs that they've always wanted. And all it has to do with is knowing. All it has to do with, it has to do with discovering how you do it. Passing into the known as much as possible. If I take it back to myself, I laid those tracks into the great unknown after I scouted it. I wanted to make my own world. I went and scouted it. I saw the land features. I saw the people that may live there. I saw all the waterways and the fucking technology that might be used and the different races and stuff. And I was like, that's cool. But then I had to tread into that. When I went to lay the tracks down for my train to come, a train of knowledge, I guess, I don't know, of an idea, I had to give definition to those people. I had to find the history of the land. I had to discover the names of places. I had to discover what are the boundaries of the geography. I had to discover there are groups of people, great, but what about concepts? What's the philosophy here? What's the religion here? What's the social element? What's the trade network like? What is the philosophical, I already said that, the political level? Like what's going on there? Like I had to find all those things for every group of people. How many nations are there? How do they work with each other? What kind of races of people are there? How do they feel about each other? What are some small groups? Okay, you made a religion inside of a country of a group of people. What about the counterculture of that? What's the counterculture inside of Adrana? What's the counterculture of the Jurix Chantry? What's the counterculture of the Aevan Society? What about the Murphos? How do they have to do anything with Adrana? If you say it's the exiled nation, why are they exiled? What are the reasons that made them become exiles? How do they feel about Willandia? They share a border with them too. Does Willandia give a fuck about the exiled nation? Have the exiles ever tried to invade Willandia? Have they ever tried to invade Adrana? That's this fucking unknown. And like that's that treading forward. You're trying to solve problems. You're trying to make the unknown known. And for me in my book, it's just like, those are the things like, well, I got to figure all this out. It's like, okay, I figured it out. I think I know what the Jurix Chantry is. Okay, who's the head of the Chantry? How does the hierarchy work in the Chantry? How do the priests work in the Chantry? So then you got to go like, fuck, I didn't think of all that. And so you have to do it. And you're like, well, what about who was the head of the Chantry in 1504 when that was going on? I'm like, you can't just say it was the Chantry head leader. You got to give a name. I'm like, damn it. Well, that's great and all, but like, what about the timeline? If these guys were at war with those guys during this time, what were these guys doing over here that were allies with those guys? Are they at war too? Like, shit, I don't know. And so now you have all these like problems. You have this great unknown ahead of you. Now what do you do with all that? I thought you tried to grasp with your mind with clarity or certainty. How can you be certain about something that's enigmatic like that? I mean, and that's where like I'll sit and get that philosophical thinking, like, how do you truly know something that's abstract? How can you know with like utter certainty, or the definition here, beyond a shadow of a doubt? How can you know that much something that does not exist? And for my case, let's just say Adrana again. How do I know without a shadow of a doubt, with the utmost clarity about Adrana when it's not even real? How can you? How can you know anything? Tolkien, how does he know the Uruk-hai? They don't exist. What are you talking about? You don't know what that is. It's not real. It doesn't exist. How can you know it if it doesn't exist? And I think that problem is easily understood with the manifested and unmanifested. Something that I talked about a few videos back, of creating stuff, making things happen, making things born out of nothing and into something. You're taking it from the unknown and putting it in the known. I think that's the best way to truly understand how that circle works, is when you think of known, think of manifested, and when you think of unknown, think of unmanifested. If I walk into a room, my understanding of that room I've never been in is unmanifested. I don't know it yet. I don't know the layout of it. I don't know what kind of people walk into this room as well. I don't know how long this room has been here. I don't even know the purpose of this room. Then I start learning about it and I realize it's a waiting room for a fucking doctor's office. It becomes a known thing. An abstract known at best, because it's more of a symbol. It's more of like a concept that we've all agreed on. Like, this room is for doctor or patients waiting to see a doctor. That's not just something that just always existed and makes complete sense to even an alien. Human beings had to make up concepts to that. So part of the idea of knowing is an agreeance of a concept, or something that we all say, yes, this is what that is. If you and I all look at a road for vehicles, we say, we know what that is. That's a road we drive on. Okay, we'll show that to someone that's never seen a car, that is also a child. They're not going to be like, yeah, that is a road to drive on. Like, they don't know, because they have no concept. And that's another huge part of knowing, is just a collective understanding. a shared understanding of something greater, something we all can collaborate on. And that goes into many facets, like we all understand Star Wars, the people that really love Star Wars, we all understand that. We understand the limitations there. We accept the fact that you can force push people and choke them with the force, and somehow you have lightsaber skills that you can use the force to be better at. We just accept that. But if you sat down and said, what exactly is the force? How do you know what that is? We're going to say, well, Obi-Wan said it was an energy field that binds all living things. It's in everything. It's like this glue. Or what's his face? Qui-Gon Jinn saying it's some sort of organic thing that induces that. We just know that? We're accepting something someone else said. Without question. That is what it is. That's knowing. But is it truly knowing? Or is it merely agreeing? Accepting? Relenting? Like, I don't know. Yes, fine. That's what it is. I know that. I'm not trying to prove many points here. I'm just rambling because that's just kind of how it is for me. That's how my mind works. I'm just like, how do you know anything? What is anything? I don't know. Something's something, but how do I prove that that thing is something? Someone else said so? Who are they? Sorry, man. Like, I can ask a lot of questions, but I don't have a lot of answers to that. I don't know. I really don't. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you like these philosophical ideas of Nietzsche and fucking, what's his face, Freud and goddamn Carl Jung and shit. I don't. Because how the fuck do they know? Just see the pattern of life and give a definition and now you know? I don't know. Doesn't seem right to me. It's just a difficult thing. It really is. And I wanted to talk about it. And I probably will talk about it a little bit more in another video. But we'll begin here now. And maybe we'll explore a little bit more of know and what that is and how we can. But this will be a good start at least.
Show me how to get by. Show me now or say goodbye. Take away what's inside. Run away. No, I can't hide. Show me how my